And things aren't looking so good for President Biden. We're hoping and hearing that new testimony that officials at the very top of the administration, including Secretary of State Antony Blinken, organized that letter that more than 50 former intelligence officials signed to discredit the Hunter Biden laptop story right before the 2020 presidential election. Anita Vogel has the details on this. Good morning, Anita.
Well, good morning, Ashley. Of course, we all remember that infamous letter that came out right before the election, signed by 51 former intelligence officials stating that the Hunter Biden laptop story was nothing more than Russian disinformation. Now we've learned through testimony from former CIA Deputy Director Michael Morrell that Secretary of State Antony Blinken played a key role in creating that letter before he became Secretary of State. House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan and House Intelligence Committee Chairman Mike Turner sent a letter to Blinken Thursday, letting him know that their panels are looking into this. Part of the letter saying, quote, the Biden campaign played an active role in the origins of the public statement, which had the effect of helping to suppress the Hunter Biden story and preventing American citizens from making a fully informed decision during the 2020 presidential election.
This has been political from the get-go, clear back to the Morrell situation when the story came out on October 14th, 2020 about the Biden business operation, and was then Vice President Joe Biden involved. There was some concern that he was. And then quickly it turns into this political operation. That letter became the basis for keeping this information from the American people.
And now an IRS whistleblower claiming that Attorney General Merrick Garland is the senior political appointee at the center of his claims that the Biden administration is thwarting and interfering with the Hunter Biden criminal probe.
My client's a career law enforcement officer who is respected within the IRS, and he teaches other agents how to properly do investigations. He knows when to spot when investigative steps aren't done in the traditional way to get at the truth. And he has spotted and observed things that are done differently in this particular matter, and he believes that they were influenced by politics.
The White House didn't have much to say when asked about the whistleblower seeking protections.
The president respects the rule of law and the independence of the Department of Justice. He believes that's what they should be. In this administration, we believe that it should be independent. So I'm not going to go beyond that. The Department of Justice will certainly deal with this issue.
And for his part, Merrick Garland has repeatedly claimed under oath that there would be no political interference in the Hunter Biden probe. But through his attorney, the whistleblower says he has information to contradict Garland's statements. And if it can be proven that Garland was not telling the truth, Ashley, he could face jail time. Todd and Ashley.
That's a real big deal. Anita, thank you. With that, let us bring in Fox News contributor Joe Concha. Joe, we've been covering the Hunter Biden saga for years now. Of all the developments, doesn't this one feel like this is the one that's going to blow the lid off not just Hunter, but Joe, Blinken, Garland, and the like?
The biggest, I would say, Todd, because here you have an actual whistleblower within the government who doesn't have a stake in one side or the other, right? When a Republican makes a claim about Hunter Biden, the mainstream media primarily ignores it. Here, this is something that cannot be ignored, except it is being ignored. You look at the homepages of the New York Times, CNN, Washington Post, ABC, NBC. No talk of this whatsoever. CBS, kudos to them. At least they covered it on their evening news. But outside of Fox, not many people are talking about this right now, but they can't avoid it because this could eventually lead to indictments. Indictments not only of Hunter Biden, but also, as Anita just talked about, obviously Merrick Garland could be culpable here as well. So this is a very, very big deal because we're talking about the Hunter Biden story is more about Joe Biden than it is about Hunter Biden, and is the sitting president of the United States compromised by the likes of China, Russia, Ukraine, we're going to find out a lot more, I have a feeling.
You really can't put together a newscast in good conscience if the Attorney General somehow gets indicted or in serious trouble and not include that as your story. But what also stood out to me, not only is the mainstream media not covering this with the exception of CBS, but there are calls from so many on the left to go after the IRS whistleblower for doing the whistleblowing in the perfect manner, following all the protocols and procedures. What do you make of that instinct from so many on the left to be like, we need to get the whistleblower?
It shows that it's like a third rail with Hunter Biden, right? The forbidden fruit is to cover this story. And it always was from the beginning, right? When the laptop and all of its contents came out in October of 2020 before that election, somehow there was this meme that went out, this narrative that said, you cannot cover this. And since then, we've seen that. But again, this is so big that it's going to be unavoidable at some point. And a big problem for Joe Biden, and he's about to announce he's going to run for 2024 in terms of his reelection. I would hope there'd be more questions asked of him on the campaign trail. We'll see. This
is a real serious story. The one we're about to go to, this is our fun story of the day. Vice President Harris taking a very important question from a 10-year-old yesterday. Watch.
Would you go into space if you had the chance?
Is that a request? I would go to space if I could. I actually, and there are people on my team who do know that, but sadly, I think that there are those who would prefer that I would stay on Earth for the time.
Yet, Joe, somehow her handlers, she herself, thought it was a good idea to combine kids and space talk after this infamous incident. Watch again.
All right.
I just love the idea of exploring the unknown. And then there's other things that we just haven't figured out or discovered yet. To think about so much that's out there that we still have to learn. Like, I love that. I love that. And so I'm very excited about the Space Council.
Why, Joe? Why?
This is the reason why Joe Biden is running. And in his 80s, because Kamala Harris clearly is not only not Plan B, she's not even Plan Z at this point, based on these cringeworthy answers that we see time and time again. She's just not authentic. Anybody who laughs after their own jokes, that's your sign of during a happy hour. Every time they say something, get away from that person as quickly as possible. Yes.
Well, speaking of running, I mean, to your point, that's why Biden is running again. And look at all the people that could be compromised by topic one we just had.
Yeah.
If all those people are gone, the person who's in the second topic really takes a much more active role in, our entire nation. Happy Friday, everybody.
I'm Steve Doocy. I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.